Hey guys, Todd James back at you again, and just want to drop a video this morning. That's just shortly after sunrise here. This is my time of day for thinking and getting things done, and just wanted to give you some information that I think might be useful. Uh, one of the problems I see with my students, the people I'm working with, doing e-com training with, it's not that they are unwilling to learn. It's in fact it may be the opposite of that. They are so excited, so engaged that they devote way too much of their time to doing e-com. I have a much lazier approach to it, and I say that, I'm kind of playing on the word lazy a little bit. You've got to bring some commitment. You've got to bring some enthusiasm, some excitement. But this isn't supposed to be the 1980s version of cutting edge technology where you work 90 or 100 hours a week. If you're trying to transition from a 40-hour job or a 50 or 60-hour job into something that's more productive, more lucrative, you should also include in that equation something that requires less of your time, and e-com should fit that bill. E-com in general is scalable, quite lucrative, and it's something that you should be able to manage a very substantial business without a tremendous input of your time. Now, I'm not saying passive income where all you do is just watch your bank account grow while you sleep and you don't do anything. But I mean, I'm running a $10 million business with about 20 hours a month. Some months I go a little bit over that, but for the most part, it's about 20 to 25 hours a month now. I do have 2 full-time employees, but even before I had those employees, I wasn't going more than 40 to 45 hours a month, not a week, but a month. Anything beyond that, anything I forced myself to do beyond what was necessary to keep the business up and running and to keep the business growing at a moderate pace, I found it just got me in trouble. I ended up, flipping switches that didn't need to be flipped. I went down a lot of rabbit holes, looking for the next best thing, either from a product standpoint or from a business practice standpoint. And I finally learned through trial and error that keeping it simple, the actual KISS methodology that you all should be familiar with, was the best way to go. And it has served me well. Right now, with just myself working the hours that I'm working and my 2 employees who they're not being pushed to their limits by any stretch, we could probably add another $5 or $6 million a year in business to our system without additional help, or additional labor or virtual assistants or anything of that nature. And we would all still have a really, really good work-life balance. And I know for some people the idea, well, let me rephrase this. I know there are a lot of people out there that when they hear, I can work 40 hours a month and make a lot of money, that's what they want. That just sounds like nirvana. That's too good to be true. That's just, oh my gosh, that's what I want out of my life. But when they find themselves headed down a path that will lead them to that, they go off the rails and they start working a lot of extra hours, and they just push and push and push themselves without any additional benefit really to show for it. And I just think that's wrong. I wish I could instill in people a sense of being introspective and asking themselves, are they really getting anything extra from this additional work that they're putting in? In most cases, the answer would be no, that they're not getting any additional effort. So, or any additional benefit for their effort, I should say. So, just want to throw that out there. I am on a monthly basis. I do some things. This may sound kind of strange, but it's a good habit to get into. I really kind of do a self-diagnostic of my life and of my business and how everything's kind of coming together. And I do this on a monthly basis. It's a question of kind of like just sitting down turning everything off, taking some quiet time, and there are days, or some months I should say, where I'll spend an entire day just kind of lost in thought about what I can change, what I like about what I'm doing, what I don't like about what I'm doing. And for the most part these days, I really, every month I'm looking and saying, okay, how can I maintain and do less than what I'm doing now? And this isn't a question of outsourcing. This isn't a question of laying off things that I think of as my responsibilities onto one of my employees. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not looking to transfer tasks and duties. I'm looking to eliminate tasks and duties from the must-do list. And that approach, I think, has kept me really lean in a business sense, and just really kind of kept me pretty aggressive over the years, which has benefited my business tremendously. I actively am engaged in the pursuit of doing less. And you can almost always do more by putting more of yourself into something, sacrificing more of your personal life, your family time, and whatnot. But that has a limit. That results in burnout. That results in hating this job as much as you hated the last job. The idea again here is to not only have the financial independence that comes with owning your own business, but to have the life that comes with owning your own business potentially. And it's really a question of how you set things up. And I spend a significant amount of time with my students and the people that I mentor talking about knowing when enough is enough. What brought me to this frame of thinking years ago is one, just personal observation, watching other people throw themselves into work and working double the hours to get just 10% more productivity out of themselves. It just didn't make sense to me. It seemed like you hit a point where the returns greatly diminished. And the other thing is, as strange as this may sound, but this is kind of sometimes where I draw inspiration from, is watching something on VH1, the video music channel. And they're showing, I think the episode that hit me, although they've done many episodes like this, but they were showing how Fleetwood Mac Rumors, the album, was made. And that is a foundational piece of music in my life. If I had to go to a deserted island and could only take 5 albums or 5 CDs with me, Fleetwood Mac Rumors would be one of those 5 CDs. So in watching it and talking to the engineers and seeing how that album was made, what always amazed me was when the engineer knows what a song needs and he knows what it doesn't need. He knows when, to jokingly say, oh, it needs more cowbell. So you put in some cowbell and it becomes a defining characteristic of a particular song. But also to know when enough is enough, and okay, stop with the cowbell. And knowing, in a business sense, knowing what to do and when to do it is a huge part of the equation. But knowing when you've done all you can do, enough is enough. Let's pursue other avenues for growth. Let's put as much emphasis and place as much concern on our quality of life as we do on the quality of our business. And rather than throw, another 10 or another 20 hours a week into it, let's just see if there's not another avenue available to us that will allow us to continue growing and continue thriving without it taking any more of our time. What can we do? What can we bring into the business and embrace in the business that will fit with the program that we already have running? We don't need to recreate the wheel every month, and a lot of entrepreneurs do that. And that's only if I can keep an entrepreneur focused on one thing. It's another topic for another video on another day. But the entrepreneurs that come in, they find success with Amazon or with one type of e-commerce. get pulled into other ventures that are nowhere near as stable and as worthy of their time, but they get attracted by flashy things, and next thing you know, they're gone to crypto, or they're gone to, whatever. But if I can keep them focused and keep them focused on the right stuff, success is within their grasp, and it's just a question of them being willing to accept it on its terms. But anyway, hey, if you haven't done so already, if my philosophical ramblings here haven't just turned you off to the whole idea of e-commerce, check out my channel. I put up equally vague philosophical ramblings on a regular basis. Hit like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, helps me out a little bit, and we'll see you in the next video.